Continuing our post-race media availabilities for the Ford EcoBoost 400, we're joined now by the driver, the number 2 Miller Lite Ford, Brad Keselowski. Brad, a 7th place finish tonight. I know it wasn't the result you're looking for, but talk to us a little bit about the race.
Yeah, hard-fought battle with a long night, but might not have got the result we wanted. Of course, the result you want is to win the race, win the championship, but the effort was phenomenal, and I was really proud of our group for everything they put into that. Trying to be the best with this package, and we weren't quite best in class, but we ran up front. The 4, the 42, the 4, and the 24 were pretty good. My teammate was pretty good, and felt like if we could have had a couple cracks at it, we probably could have ran 5th instead of 7th, but there really wasn't any point in the race where we were capable of running with the 18 or the 78. So that was just kind of the way it was. We tried everything we could throw at them with strategies and whatnot, and that seemed to work out a little bit. Force everybody's hands a couple times and put them in some uncomfortable spots, but in the end, we just didn't have enough speed to really contend with those guys. Really, nobody did, if you look at it. But we put the effort out there, and I'm proud of that.
We'll open it up to questions for Brad. We're going to take the first one from the press box from Lee Spencer.
Lee Spencer Motorsport.com. When you guys realized you really didn't have a car to keep up with the front runners, is that where you and Paul figured strategy was the only way you were going to get there?
Could you hear what you said?
Lee, could you give us that one more time? It was a little difficult to hear you.
Hot. Whoa. When you and Paul realized you didn't have a car that could compete with the Toyotas in Harvick, did you figure your strategy was going to be the only way you could get there?
Yeah, we needed those guys to make mistakes, and strategy is one way to do that, for sure. I think in the end, from what I could tell, it probably did mix up who won the race. But not enough for us because we just did not have enough speed to really be in play for sure. But we threw everything we had at it, and the effort was really, really strong from our group.
We'll go over here to the right to Bob, then to Nate.
Bob Pockers, ESPN. Is Truex a better driver than he was 2 years ago, or is he just in better equipment?
I think Martin's always been a pretty good driver. I don't think he's really changed. Maybe he would say he has, but certainly he's in some great equipment. I think he'd probably tell you that. That he's still beating the other Toyotas, so he deserves credit for that, for sure. I think he's got a good group over there that, Barney Visor, who runs that team, Barney Visser, he probably doesn't get enough credit because he's come in and completely kind of schooled some of these owners, to be quite honest, of what it takes to win in this series. With what he's done, and he's put Martin in a great situation, and Martin's made the most of it, so I think he deserves a lot of credit.
We'll go to Nate and then to Christian.
Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. Brad, Toyota's 1-2. I know that's been sort of a theme this season and something you've been outspoken about. Chevy gets a new car next year. Does Ford get any help anywhere, do you think, for 2018?
I sure hope so. When that car rolled out, at Daytona, and I think we all got to see it for the first time, I think there was 2 reactions. 1, we couldn't believe NASCAR approved it, and 2, we were impressed by the design team over there. And so, with that said, I don't think anyone was really ever had a shot this year the second that thing got put on the racetrack and approved. So kind of felt a little bit like Formula One, where you have one car that kind of makes it through the gate, heads and tails above everyone, and your hands are tied because you're not allowed to do anything to cars in those categories that NASCAR approves to really catch up. So as to what will happen for 2018, I don't know. I would assume that Chevrolet will be allowed to design a car the same way that Toyota was for this one. But Ford doesn't have any current plans for that. If that's the case, we're going to take a drubbing next year. So we'll have to see.
We'll go over here to the far left to Christian.
Christian Coley on PayRoad.com. Brad, it seemed like you had a very good car at the beginning of the race, and it kind of just fell off as the race progressed. And as the sun went down, Were you having problems with the adjustments on the car, or was there just something with the difference?
No, it's the cars. When we went to the smaller rear spoiler this year, I guess it was smaller width-wise. I can't remember the exact dimensions. Forgive me, I just got out of a 4-hour race car. But when we went to the smaller rear spoiler this year, it, of course, shifted the aerodynamics on the car to the front. And as the tracks get hotter and slicker and take more rubber, even though it went in the night, it just really continues to, extrapolate the need for rear grip. And, right now the Fords and the Chevrolets with the 2017 spec are way down on that. And, just kind of, like I said, exaggerates some deficits as we get later into the race. And that was the case again today.
Any additional questions for Brad? Brad, congratulations on a great season. We look forward to seeing
Thank
you.
you very much. Have a good night. Thanks everybody for being here all season.